And we are live. My name is Terry Thompson. I am the host of Unbreakable Stories, along with my co-host here, Bonnie. And tonight we have a very special show here about letting it all go. It's those little moments in life that, man, they can kind of get you down. They can tear you down. They can slow you down. They can do all of the different things mentally, physically, and this, that, and the other. But at the end of all of that, you just simply have to let it go. You just have to breathe in, breathe out, relax, and let it all go. Bonnie, how you doing tonight?
I'm great.
I sense the sarcasm in your
No,
voice.
I am. I'm good. I'm good. This was a real time lesson slash test exactly in our topic for this evening about letting it go and like what's really important. We're here. That's what's important.
Trust me when I tell you that the feeling is mutual on this end as well too, and we will discuss that later. But yeah, the feeling is mutual on that one. It's one of those things to where, man, you just can't let it. You just can't let it get you down. No matter what happens in life, don't let life get in the way of living. You said that. And it's one of those powerful quotes that every time that I feel like I'm struggling, I oftentimes resort back to that quote right there. No matter what happens in life, do not let life get in the way of living. You have a choice to make. You can get upset, you can get angry, you can dive down rabbit holes with all these different things, but at the end of that, sometimes all you just need to do is pause, take a breath, let it out, and then act. Not react, but act. And I think that's truly important. I think that whenever people find themselves in certain situations, their first impulse is to act or react instead of pause, take a breath, and then act intentionally, coherently, with clarity instead of anger or whatever the case may be. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I have it titled a little differently and I talk about responding versus reacting, but it's essentially exactly what you're talking about, which is taking the time to assess the situation and not um, act on your first emotion to whatever the situation is. Because a lot of the times, either we're misinterpreting what happened, we're letting the emotion make the decision for us instead of being rational about whatever the case is. Sometimes we overcomplicate it or get overworked about things that we probably don't need to be. I know I definitely lived in that space for a very long time. Like for example, my computer decided that right now at 6:57, it's time to do updates. And so here we are on my phone. It's like, what's the solution to this? Like, what can I do about it? And that was switch devices for now. We'll make it work. But there was some frustration in there, in the middle that I had to kind of put aside and realize that, what was meant to happen was going to happen, but getting upset about it wasn't going to make the situation any better. That was for sure.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, 100%. And a lot of times that's exactly what makes the situation worse is whenever you react, whenever you react out of anger and and it doesn't get any better because two rights don't make a wrong. And I grew up with that lesson right there that no matter what happens, two rights don't make a wrong. If there's something wrong, one, you should make a correction. I truly believe that you should make a correction. But one of the things that I learned a long time ago is that whenever you're trying to let something go, no matter how upset that it got you, the idea is that you do not attack the person. You make a correction on the thing, whatever that thing is, not the person. Do you have anything else to add to that?
now that's a really great point. When you're interacting with other people, um, it's something that I strive to teach my kids, my boys especially, are at that age where they're not, especially my youngest, they're not separating the problem from the person.
Mm.
And so those phrases such as, I hate you, I don't like you, I'll never like you again, you're not my brother, all those lovely things. It's like no, that's not true. 5 minutes ago, you were snuggling. Uh, you don't like what he did, or you hate the way you're feeling about this. And I really do try to also steer them away from the word hate just because it's such a strong word. But um, yes, I agree. Because when you, first of all, it's not necessarily the person, it's the behavior, the action, the problem, whatever that you're upset about, in most cases. But when you start attacking people, that goes like nowhere really fast. People get very defensive for good reason. Um, and then, yeah, you're just not getting anywhere.
Mhm. Yeah, and and it's tough to let go sometimes because you want to hold on to that. You want to prove your point. You want to kind of stand your ground in this, that, and the other. And it's tough. Man, I've been there. I've been in that thing. It's like, I know that I'm right. I don't really care what your thoughts are, what your feelings are. I'm right. You're wrong, and this, that, and the other. And I've had those tough conversations. So when you're in that heat of the moment, whatever you're trying to prove something right or wrong, how would you let go of that?
Um, I I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I have that one completely nailed down and figured out.
I don't think none
I
of us do,
still,
honestly.
yeah, I was gonna say, I'm thinking of just this morning, or like 25 minutes ago with my boys. My boys are both very, very, they would make really great lawyers. Like my mom used to say the same thing about me. Their negotiation and not manipulation in like a bad way, but their ways of making a situation, like the persuasion, the manipulation, the negotiation, the way that they swing things.
Mhm.
And like sometimes I just stand there and go like, I can't even argue with that. Like that actually makes sense. But no, you're still wrong. Like that thing is still not happening.
Mhm.
But your logic makes sense.
Mhm.
And so I walk a fine line of I don't want to discourage them from that out of the box thinking, but at the same time, there's rules and there are certain things like I've had to with them go, no is a complete sentence and I don't have to give you an explanation in this situation. Like
Mhm.
this, I'm not looking for an argument. Go brush your teeth. Like there's basic things that we have gotten in that they've gotten in the habit of arguing about. And um I do get caught in that, especially when I'm tired, especially in the morning when I'm groggy. But other than those situations, as far as letting it go, is I really have been working probably the past year, maybe longer, on recognizing when my ego is speaking, whether it's to me or trying to speak or has already spoken to the other person, when being right is not nearly as important as feeling good, feeling happy, being calm, whatever that, staying friends, whatever the other is. Um, because a lot of these things boil down to perspective. It's not like we're all working math problems 100% of the day where there is an actual right answer.
Mhm.
I hope that was helpful.
No, it truly was. And just to kind of go in line with the title of tonight's room. So Taoism, I had to look that up earlier today, and it was one of those things to where um it's based around philosophy and religion. It's old, it's ancient Chinese philosophy and religion, but it's really based around existing in harmony with the universe, whatever that may be, whether it's with people, whether it's in animals, whether it's, all the different things that's out there. It's living in harmony. And oftentimes, we're not in perfect harmony, but whenever you're willing to kind of let things go, you can create like a sense of harmony, so to speak. It's like, okay, I don't have to be right. Like you said earlier, putting that ego to the side. Trust me when I tell you that I put my ego to the side a lot of times. I had to learn that. Like,
Hmm.
because the old me would have just blasted right into it, been cussing, yelling, screaming, throwing crap around the house and this, that, and the other. And I had to learn how to create harmony, even though there's a disconnect, even though there's a disconnect. And sometimes that's the power of letting it go. That's the power of not having to be right. That's the power of not having to say anything or just two things: saying you're right, or just turning around and walk away. And I've done that many a times. Just, I'm not dealing with this. I'm not messing with it. I'm letting it go. I don't care what you're saying, what you're doing. I'm going to turn around and I'm going to walk the other way. And I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just going to turn around and walk the other way with my thoughts and my feelings right there on my sleeve. You know what I'm saying? It, it,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. And I think that whenever you are able to get to that level of just forget it, you know, it's not worth it, whatever the case may be, you'll learn how to walk away from things a whole lot easier. Not that the problem goes away, because the problem doesn't go away. And there, right there also in lies the problem, because you can't really just fully let things go. You still eventually have to communicate the issue. You still have to communicate the problem. You still have to communicate, discuss, or something. What are your thoughts about coming back around to that, even if you've walked away?
For where I am at now,
Mhm.
I really look at assessing, is this something, is there a sticking point here? Like, does this actually need to be addressed? Is this actually causing a problem? Is there
Like,
actually
like now,
harm being done?
like now.
Yeah, and
Okay, got
like
it.
right now, and then is it going to matter 5 minutes,
Mhm.
5 days, 5 months from now? So back to the brushing teeth example. Yes, if I let my boys win that argument every single day, every single night for the next 5 years, there's going to be a much worse problem. Like, you know, and so that's a fight worth fighting. And like, I am definitely an advocate of choosing your battles, especially with what I went through in previous years. We'll just leave it at that. Um, However, there are some instances, for example, and I make this very clear, where I use the phrase, this is a one-time thing. So this is an exception.
Mhm.
For example, my little one's been sick again all week, and he was just miserable and like didn't want to brush his teeth. I'm like, all right, but this is a one-time thing. This is an exception. You're really sick. That's okay. But this is not going to be the new habit, right? But
Mhm.
coming back to address the problem, I feel like if there's something that is just so, um, you can probably hear my boys right now. They're playing downstairs. So
It's
offensive.
absolutely amazing background ASMR.
Is it really loud? I'm like,
No, 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 no. I love the ASMR.
I'm
It's
just super happy they're getting along. Like that's what I'm
it's
hearing right
like
now.
so there's an Alan Jackson song, and it's like, you know, there's a lyric in there where it's like the sound of little feet.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
I don't, but that's exactly what I'm hearing right now. It's just
See,
pure joy. And I'm like
exactly. It's the sound
singing
of
from
little
the
feet.
inside right now, just
So,
hearing
so the
that
thing
noise.
is letting it go, because it's the sound of little feet, having fun,
Yeah.
joy, happiness, and you don't want to take that away, even though it might necessarily be getting on your absolute last nerve. And I've been down that road. I've been down, like, I'm just sitting here and I'm downstairs and I'm working on something, and all I hear is little feet upstairs, whether it's, you know, my daughter running at top speed from one room to the other, because that's what she does. That's the reason why I call her Boogie, because she
Yeah.
is boogieing through the house at top speed everywhere she goes. She doesn't know how to walk. She will run everywhere she goes.
She reminds me of
And
Dash. It's
dash, there you
Dash.
go, dash. And it's one of those things to where, as frustrating as it is, because my train of thought is gone. The thing I was thinking about is gone. The thing I was working about just poof into thin air. And I got to let it go. And it's one of those things to where, as bad as I want to kind of run upstairs and just be like, look, y'all need to stop running. You need to cool it down. You need to do this and that. I was like, you know what? It's the sound of little feet, man. And one day, as we all get older, we're going to miss that sound.
Yeah, that's why I was like, as long as it's not causing an interruption, I'm gonna let it go because I would much rather be hearing that
Mhm.
than some of the knockdown drag out stuff you've heard before.
Mhm.
But it's just really great timing that the universe has here. Back to what we were talking about, there are certain things, especially if you have a spouse or a partner, or if you have children, and you're trying to help steer them in the right direction, and something either is repeatedly coming up or something like seriously offensive. I don't know a better word than offensive. That's not really the word that I'm looking for. But, my boys, they're learning language. They're still little. They're hearing things. They're repeating things. Um, my youngest came in, yes, I don't know, a couple of days ago. Doesn't matter. He goes, "Mom, is blah, blah, beep a bad word?" And I was like, "Yes, yes, it is. Thank you for sharing. Don't say it again." But if it had come to a where there's a heated argument and you need to leave, walk away, because heated arguments don't really go anywhere good. um some of those things may need to be addressed, so that your partner understands what your boundaries are, what your limits are, what's tolerable, what's acceptable to you, etc., etc., etc. So I do believe that those things need to be communicated when you're calm. um So I
Yeah.
think that answers your question.
100%. And we have a friend backstage. I'm going to go ahead and bring him on up here now. We have an absolutely amazing question from Alay here, and we're going to go ahead and bring him on here so that we can discuss that question. And Alay, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Very nice. Thank you very much for welcoming me in your show tonight.
Yeah, 100%. So you asked a question, would you say that letting things go may be a way to avoid resentment in the long run? I think that if you don't circle back around to it, I think that in the heat of the battle, that letting things go might be appropriate action. But if you don't ever circle back around to it or make a correction, you will resent not ever making that correction in the long run, and it'll just tear at you. It's like, why didn't I say this? Why didn't I do that? You will dig deep within your own mental, capacity if you don't address it, if you don't circle back around to it. Now, here's the thing. There's a different ways of looking at it, and it's a matter of looking at it this way. Is there life or limb at threat? And if there's life or limb at threat, then okay, you don't walk away from it. I don't care whose feelings you're hurting. You need to stop that. You need to address that right then and there if it's life or limb. It, like as Bonnie alluded to earlier, if it doesn't matter now, if there's no life or limb, if it's not going to matter 5 years from now, whatever the case may be, yeah, you might want to be able to let it go. But if it's going to eat at you and tear at you and you're going to be resentful, it's like, why didn't I do this? Why didn't I say that? You're going to dive down rabbit holes mentally, and then that's going to take a mental and a physical toll on you. So the thing is that, okay, during the heat of the moment, maybe not saying anything was the right thing. Maybe walking away was the right thing. Once you collect your thoughts, your ideas, the things that you want to say appropriately or more accordingly, as opposed to being angry or whatever the case would be, then you can come back and address the issue or the person or the situation. Hopefully that made sense.
It does, actually. And I wrote a question earlier because you mentioned that if we had questions to put them in the chat. And right after I put the question, you mentioned the fact that if something happens, it's always good to stop, breathe, and act. And often I realize that once you start making small decisions so that you don't have to think about an issue again, then it makes life so much easier. And that was one of the key points here, where if you want to save mental energy, making decisions so you can address it, and you can make another decisions down the road, but at least you're not keeping the thoughts in your mind the whole time.
So I'll share with everybody an acronym here, and I learned this a long time ago, and it's BRAS, BRAS, BRAS. You're gonna laugh your tail end off at this, but it's really not funny. It makes sense. So BRAS, that's breathe, relax, align, speak. Here's what I mean by that. If you're in a situation to where you need to kind of let it go, or you need to kind of take a pause or take a breath, do just that. Take a breath, relax, align. Here's where it really gets interesting. Align. What you're doing is you're aligning your thoughts with your values. You're aligning your thoughts with the actions and more appropriate words that you want to say. So that align phase is really important. Breathing, relaxing is just as important, but you want to align. And I think that so many people, they react because they're misaligned, and they need to realign so that way they can act more appropriately. And then you want to speak. So BRAS, BRAS, that's breathe, relax, align, speak. And I
Makes
believe
sense.
Bonnie wanted to add something as well too.
I love that acronym. I'm gonna have to write that down somewhere. Because I'm going through like my mental process here, and that's exactly what I've been doing. I just didn't have a framework. You and Zan with these frameworks is just amazing because I'm like, oh, so that's what I could call that. But I'm thinking there's two schools of thought that I'm thinking of. One is just be aware that you're not using walking away as a like an escape mechanism or what was I had the word and I lost it. But a lot of times people will avoid conflict altogether, and then they're stuffing what their needs, their wants, their boundaries, everything just to keep the peace. And that's a people pleasing. It also can be a trauma response. I'm not here to diagnose anybody, but it can be and like an avoidance technique, basically, of not taking care of things and just letting people have their own way no matter what. You don't want to get into that space. But I really love the analogy that the bras, because that's really like the ideal way, if nobody's in danger, to handle these heated situations. That realignment piece is super important because a lot of times we are having like an ego moment or a pride moment, or somebody's hurt our feelings, and not in a way that's actually harmful. It's kind of like, how dare you XYZ? How dare you be disrespectful? How dare you blah, blah, blah? Like, I'm more important than that. Like, that's all like ego-based thinking. And so if you're ruminating on, I should have said this, I should have said that, I should have gave them a piece of my mind, it's really because you feel like you have something to prove. And so that's where I have been working a lot in that space lately, is what is me telling them XYZ going to actually do? Is it going to help make them aware of a boundary that I have? Or is it just to prove myself right? Which we already went down that road, and I wouldn't be here ruminating if the guy thought I was right in the first place. Like, going back into that conversation, trying to prove myself right is not going to fix the problem. And I had a real-time situation like this a few weeks ago where somebody close to me and I did something. This person didn't like the way I did it. This person chose to tell me their feelings, but not in such a nice way. And I did take like in the moment, took a really, like, I was heavily deep, like, okay. Well, just so you know, I did this and I did this and I did this right. And like magic, my little one walked in the room and needed assistance in the bathroom. I was like, I gotta go, and walked away. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure how much longer I would have kept my cool and not told this person directly just to F off. Like, because I felt myself getting kind of to the point where I was feeling berated. And I took an entire week break from that person to realign and figure out, why was I so upset by what this person said, extracted the one little piece that I really needed to address, and did let the rest of it go. Because the rest of it for me was ego, was needing to prove myself right, was needing to not feel judged, etc., etc., etc. So I'm hoping maybe that helped somebody, work some of that out.
Awesome. We have another friend backstage. I want to go ahead and bring Peter on up here. And Peter's a part of the Unbreakable family and team here.
Hello,
Peter,
everyone.
Hello, Peter.
Hello.
how you doing, man? What are your thoughts about the conversation tonight, Peter?
Yeah, it's a great topic to discuss during this end of the years. So I prepared talking about the Tao, right? So the Tao in Chinese character is this one. So this one meaning that is the man. Then here is a walking. So meaning that the man walking to find a way. So this word itself is meaning the way, principle, work, or the method. So when we're talking about let it go, but in the meantime, we also want to find a way to achieve the more new life. Yeah. So this is about the Tao.
I love that, Peter. Thank you so much for diving into that one right there and sharing the graphic. Can you hold that graphic up again real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that, man. And just kind of looking at it, I mean, I don't really know what to think about it, but I get kind of, here's what I see in that. And just because I love imagery, I love looking at imagery and kind of playing around with it a little bit. So when I see the little line that's up underneath, what that reminds me of is the iceberg. And that's all of the thing. You can go ahead and put that image down. That way we can kind of talk about this. What I see with that line up underneath is the iceberg. And oftentimes that's the things that a lot of other people don't see as well too. So whenever somebody does walk away, oftentimes we don't understand. When we see people that don't react the way that we want them to react because we're pushing buttons to get a reaction, we oftentimes wonder and challenge things like, why are they walking away? And what you don't see is the iceberg, the stuff that's underneath, the garbage, the baggage, the things that people are holding on to that you don't want to let go of, but yet they learned a long time ago that, you know what, I'm not going to let this surface to the top, because they may have some things that needs to stay down there, that needs to stay up underneath, under the surface. And, you know, and that person has strength from to let that go as well too. And here's what I learned a long time ago. People will often judge you from a place of their weakness when they do not understand your strength, and your strength to let things go and to keep things neatly tucked away. That's a strength, but it could also be a burden. And that kind of ties back in with what Alay was talking about as well too. And that's carrying your burdens with you wherever you go without ever releasing them. And oftentimes that can take that mental toll and that physical toll. So when I see that image right there, it reminds me of the iceberg. It reminds me of the things that's deep down underneath that people often don't see, but take for granted whenever people act a certain way, react a certain way, don't hang out with the crowd, is often the introvert over here to the side. So that's one of the things that I see. And I had to learn that, you know, the hard way as well too, because I was once that guy. I'm still kind of that guy. I'm still the introvert. I don't like being out in public that much. I don't, you know, like being in large crowds and groups. I can, but that's the extroverted side of me. And I need to know when to, you know, like Sylvester Stallone, when to throw the hat around and when to put the hat back that way, kind of a thing. And I'm telling you, when that moment comes around where I put that hat around, it's game on from there. You just don't want to be in my way when that freaking hat gets turned around. So that's kind of my take on that. I love that. Peter, thank you so much for sharing that tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
Bonnie, I see Bonnie just kind of chomping at the bit right there. What else do you have to share, Bonnie?
Thank you, Peter. From what I gathered, it's looking at the in-between is where we're doing the inner work. And maybe I misinterpreted that, but it kind of seemed like that's where you're talking, is from the, you know, the event or whatever it is that kind of impacted us, is almost like a catalyst for us to look inside and see what we need to work on to get to whatever the destination and the journey, that next part of the journey is. So that's really kind of my interpretation. I heard about half of what you said, so feel free, Peter, to correct me and repeat what it was that you said. This is doing StreamYard like this. You guys are literally like a centimeter tall each, and I'm like squinting, and this has been a super fun experience. So can you explain? Yeah, that's what I feel like. Now you're like a centimeter and a half tall, maybe. I don't know. It's all good.
I love it. Alay, what are your additional thoughts? You have any additional thoughts?
It's interesting because we were talking about how you have a human or a man wanting to find his way to achieve more in life. And as we were discussing earlier about letting go, sometimes it could be your own way, but sometimes if you let go of some of the ways you like to control others or your environment, sometimes it's a big leap in leadership. And I think an example in my classroom, for example, where if you want someone to evolve and grow, you have to give them a chance to shine. And in order to do that, you have to let go of your control, trying to control the situation in the classroom, or even with my kids and my family. Once you let go a little bit, and it's not always easy to give a chance to others to shine, to take control of their own lives, then you have to trust, and that's not always easy. But then that's the best way for your team or family to grow. And that's another aspect of letting go too, that I was thinking when you three were discussing earlier.
I love that, Ale. Thank you very much for sharing that. Peter, any additional thoughts?
Yeah, talking about the year end and for, for example, in the year end, we normally will have the year end cleaning or whatever spring cleaning, right? So normally we will clean our clothing, our the stuff we don't want, so we can put in the 4 boxes. So for example, the thing you like, wait, this one, the thing you like, you need, then you can put in the gold box. The thing you like, you don't need, you think the thing you need and don't like, and the thing you don't like and don't need, we can put in the black box. So for this one, the 4 boxes you can, for cleaning our clothing, it's quite easy. We can organize in the 4 boxes. But somehow in the year end, when we face to 2023, we also need to cleaning our bad habit, our bad behavior. So we also can put like our bad behavior to in the bad boxes. Then for the thing that persistent momentum, we can put in the gold boxes and then bring forward to the next 2023.
I love that, Peter. So let me ask you this. What is it that you're ready to let go of in 2022? And what are you looking forward to for 2023?
Yeah, I will letting go that I currently also away listening to your habit bundle. So the thing is the not the profession, I will let it go for profession. Then the bring forward is the momentum to 2023 to keep moving for my work, whatever I'm doing. Yeah.
I love that. Thanks. Alay, what are your thoughts? What is it that you want to let go of for 2022, and what are you looking forward to in 2023?
I want to let go of doubts of not being able to succeed, which prevents me from starting. So if I can take care of that, then I'm going to take little steps, then larger steps, and then I hope to achieve a few goals I have set up for 2023.
Yeah, I love that. Bonnie, what about you? Same question.
This is actually so interesting because I just did a challenge with my coach, Carla, and that was the whole theme, was busting and leaving old stories behind in 2022 and creating new stories, essentially, and plans for 2023. So same concept, a little more in depth. And it was in doing that challenge that I dug up, I don't even know where, like how it came out, but it did. In one of our conversations, and it's this, I have been carrying around a fear that it's not safe to keep money, and I know where part of that comes from, but I wasn't sure where it originated from. And I had to stop and look at that and go, I don't even care where it came from, because old me would be like, oh, I've got to figure out who said what to me when I was 4.5 years old that made me believe blah, blah, blah before I can let it go. I was like, nope, that's an old story. I don't subscribe to that anymore. I'm not reading that one anymore. And it was insane because literally within hours of doing that, declaring that to our group, I made 2 like really significant sales on eBay, and I got to share that in the group. I was like, you will never believe what just happened. I've got to share that, like, real time, testimonial to what she was helping us with. So that's it. That's part of it, is letting go, shedding this old version of me. I've been doing kind of piece by piece. But that's been a big one that's, like Alay was saying, almost stops me, or I'll get so far and something will happen where I have to like start over. And I realize that something partially is just my brain doing some lovely self-sabotage. So yeah, that's part of it.
Yeah, I love that. And I took a note here and I shared it on the screen. Let go of things that no longer serve you. It's sometimes you have to, at the end of the year, it really gets important to where you do kind of that self-assessment, that fourth quarter kind of, assessment of what's going right, what's going wrong, or what needs improvement, modify, tweak, or change, kind of, my framework for the bottom line up front. And I truly believe that whenever you have certain frameworks, you can shift things, you can move things, you can pivot things so much easier when you truly understand what is going right, what needs improvement, what are the things that are supposed to happen every day, what did happen every day, And I know for me, it's letting go of the things that didn't go right. And I had to learn how to do that as well too. So remember at the beginning of the year how I used to say what goes right and what went wrong and this, that, and the other. I was focusing on the negative language. And that's one of the things that I really want to work hard on letting go of is negative language, because negative language, that internal self-talk, it's crushing me. And I will tear myself apart. I'm telling you right now, there are things that people don't see from me. There are things that people don't hear from me. But yet here I am tearing myself apart each and every single day so that I don't have to tear other people and other things apart, kind of a thing. And I want to let that go, man. It frustrates me each and every single day because I do have some things that are frustrating me every single day. But what I'm looking forward to in 2023 is the intentional actions that I can take differently, because I'm working on some projects, I'm working on some things. And I truly believe that what you focus on gets results. If I focused on the negativity, if I focused on those things that I didn't change or whatever the case may be, I'm going to stay in that. I'm going to stay in that negativity, and I want to let that stuff go. I don't want it no more. I don't want the baggage. I don't want to carry that extra weight with me on my trip that I'm taking, whenever. And it's one of those things to where I'm excited for 2023. I truly am. I'm launching some new products, launching 2 magazines in January. Holy crap. That's going to be exciting. I just had a 2-hour call today with one of my other partners, and man, that 2 hours, we dove down so many rabbit holes of like, what's going to go in the magazine, what's not going to go in the magazine, what page, what's the graphics, what's the word by word, like, oh my goodness, dude, like 2 hours we was diving down this thing, and I thoroughly enjoyed the conversation, but I had a headache afterwards because it's one of those things to where it was a lot. And I tend to overwhelm myself, and I tend to overwhelm others. And that's one of the things that I also want to let go of as well too. I was talking to my dad, and I was like, Dad, and I was talking about it like I was proud too. And I was like, I overwhelm people, Dad. It's like it was like, that was my ego talking. And that's one of the things that I kind of want to let go of as well too, is I don't want to let go of it fully, because I think that to a certain degree, you kind of have to have confidence, but there's a difference between confidence and ego. I want to let the ego side of it go, but I want to maintain the confidence side of it. So looking forward into 2023, that's one of the things that I really want to focus on. So there's a lot to unpack, and there's a lot to kind of pack on the trip that we're about ready to go in here in 2023. And I don't mean like trip to Hawaii or not like that. I'm just saying it's the new destination. So 2023 is the destination, and it's 12 months long. So the thing is that what have you planned for? What have you set aside? Have you set money to the side? Have you set time to the side? Have you set resources to the side? Have you even thought about what you want to do within 2023? I don't know. You got to let go of 2022 because it's about ready to be over. We're going to have another show here next week where we're going to talk about that, and we're going to kind of reflect on 2022, and we're going to kind of look forward to 2023. So I don't want to spill all of it tonight, because we're going to have another show with Christmas hats on and all kinds of stuff next week. So make sure you guys got your Christmas hats next Friday. And we're gonna show out. Yeah, look, I love it, Peter. Thank you so much. I might throw a sock over my head. I don't know. We'll see. And man, there's a whole lot to unpack with that. But there's things that I want to let go of because I'm excited about 2023. So that wraps it up for this show right here. Here's what I want to do. I know that we just kind of went around the circle, and we talked about things that we wanted to let go and things that we're looking forward to within 2023. But I always want to make sure that we go around again. Final thoughts here tonight. Like what are your final thoughts on anything that you want to share here tonight? Open source. You can share anything, any thoughts for today. Peter, I'll go to you, Alay, Bonnie, and I'll close out. Peter, over to you.
Yeah, for me, I will set up a day, then to refresh what I'm going to let it go, and then put down the thing that I want to keep forward to doing, then to achieve for 2023.
I love it, Peter. Thank you so much for everything that you do. I just want to let you know that, and you're doing great things for us over on Clubhouse. I can only do so much trying to do 4 things at once here, but I just want to say, Peter, thank you so much, man. You've really been a valuable part of the team, and helping us out with Clubhouse. I see you over on Twitter. You're doing so many things in the background that serves the team so well, that allows us to kind of let things go to where I know that you and Deborah have our back. And I just want to say, Peter, thank you so much for everything that you do, man. It truly means a lot.
Thank you.
Alay, over to you.
Okay, the input I have is the fact that when we have goals, so in 2023, we can always have a list of goals to do. But I think I'm going to try to do for this year another list that is no longer an issue list. So we sometimes, if you have a goal, you put it down, then you focus on it. But if I have a no longer an issue list, then it would be just a reminder of sometimes, nope, just it's something I put aside and I should not worry about that anymore. So that's what I'm going to try to do. And I think it goes with the theme of letting it go. Thank you very much.
Alay, thank you so much for your continued support and participation in what we're working on here. We got to get that Unbreakable shirt on you a little bit more often, man.
Yeah, no, I lost it somewhere. Don't tell Bunny. I lost it. It's somewhere.
Oh my goodness. Let it go.
That's okay. I lost my black one in the laundry too. That's why I'm wearing, part of why I'm wearing pink today. Cause I'm like, we're moving one kid out and moving 2 kids to the basement. And I'm like, yeah, my son moved out a couple months ago. We're still moving all of his stuff. And now we have a playroom, but I'm like, I do laundry. What happens to mine?
It's so like anyway. That one sock. Where did the other sock go?
But I have like 4 of them. Like it's, I don't know. I must have put them all together somewhere. It is what it is. But no, I love that, LA. It's totally fine. I am not nearly even the slightest bit offended. Yeah, I'm on a phone right now. So there's that. Anyways, my final thoughts for today is that there's 2 full weeks left of December of 2022. Don't freaking waste it. There's a lot of people who aren't going to make it to 2023. And not to bring like a negative light to that, but I think a lot of people get so excited about looking ahead and leaving behind that they forget we've like 2 weeks is a significant amount of time to get stuff done. And you don't have to wait till the new year to start over, to reinvent yourself. I like to use my birthday because it's almost like halfway, almost exactly halfway through the year. I do a reassessment. And anytime things are energetically feeling really wonky for me, I'll do a reassessment. I've been doing that all week, like almost every day, going, and I'm taking an antibiotic, and I'm not getting into the details, but it feels like when I was detoxing from nicotine, where I'm dizzy and I'm nauseous, and then I'm okay, and then I'm hot, and then I'm cold. I'm like, what is going on here? And I have to stop and let all that go and know, I keep telling myself, this is temporary. There's an end date to this. I only have to do this for so many days. What can I do today that's going to make some progress? I slept for half the day 2 days ago and had to let go of the guilt of needing to sleep for like 3 hours, smacking all the day, which I never. My husband was tapping me like every 40 minutes, like, are you okay? Are you still breathing? Are you still? I'm like, dude, just let me sleep. So, I think the new year is an amazing time to reassess, what you want to let go and how you want to be living. But don't get so caught up in making all of these amazing flashy goals that they're not really yours. I think a lot of us get caught in that trap of we've got to make a giant list of fantastic resolutions when we get to January 11th and a half. And like we've forgotten what 98% of them are because they weren't actually ours in the first place. And so my advice is to just pick a few things that you really would like to work on and knock those out of the park. And then you can pick a few more. And so as Terry was saying, not to overwhelm yourself and others. So that was a lot.
I love that, and one of the things is that reminds me of is that so many people are average because they're focused on too many things, to where if you limited what you're focused on, you could be great.
Mm-hmm.
You truly could. You truly could be great if you just limited all the other things that you're focusing on. And I struggle with that, but I'm good at a lot of things, but that's part of the reason why I'm probably not great, but I am pretty great at some things.
We're going to clip this for me and for you so we can keep playing it back to ourselves over and over and over again, because I need this message just as much as I'm giving it to other people.
100%. And you have to learn how to give yourself credit. We talk about letting go, but you also have to give yourself credit as well too. And that's a really important thing. Too many people are taking away as opposed to giving. Well, the number one thing that you can give yourself is credit. Give yourself credit for the things that you are doing instead of focusing on all the things that you're not doing. Because I think that so many people dive down rabbit holes with all the things that they're not doing, that they don't give themselves credit for the things that they did do, that they are doing. And it's one of those things that once you understand the power of giving yourself credit, you will let go all of the things that are not important. I truly mean that. So here's what I want to leave everybody with here tonight. And it's about letting go. And man, there's just so many things that I just can't let go of. But I want you to remember this right here. And you've probably heard me say this right here. If you ever see me looking down, it's because I'm helping somebody up. If you ever see me looking up, it's because I'm thanking God for all of the opportunities and all of the things that he has given me, because with God, all things are possible. But every time that I look around, man, I see friends, I see family, I see people that are great. Because I was told one time that if you want to be great, you surround yourself with even greater people. And I can't let go of that, and I'm collecting good people along the way. And that's what it's all about right there. Let go of all the things that don't serve you. Bonnie said that best earlier. She texted me that earlier. I don't know what, yesterday or was it today? I don't remember, but it was like letting go of things that no longer serve you. And I truly mean that. We get so wrapped around the axle of all these things, and we get upset. We want to hold on to that. Just let it go. It's like the Christmas song goes, let it go, let it go, let it go. Da, 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 da. However that goes, let it go, let it go, let it go. I got to look up the words for that one. But look, I'm here to tell you, as Bonnie said, if it doesn't matter, just let it go. So I just want to say thank you, Peter. Thank you for joining us. Alay, Bonnie, man, truly fantastic show as it is every week. Next week's going to be exciting. We're going to do a recap of the year, and we're going to talk about what our goals are and what are the things are that we want to work on in 2023, because I truly believe that if you want it to happen, you must speak it into existence. So we're going to speak it into existence next week. We're going to go ahead and highlight those things. What are the most important things? What are our successes? We're going to have like one big victory day, and we're going to celebrate all the things that we achieve throughout the year. And then we're going to speak it into existence, the things that we're going to achieve for 2023. So you want to make sure that you're here. Those of you that are watching the replay, you got to be here next week. I'm telling you, show up with your party hat on, because it's going to be a party. And we're going to do a recap, and then we're going to do kind of a reset, and then we're going to take action and move into 2023. I'm telling you, how you in the year is just as important as how you begin the year, because so many people are focused on, those New Year's resolutions and all the goals and all these. I don't want any of that crap. I want better habits. I don't need more hopes, wishes, goals, or dreams. I want better habits. And we're going to talk about that next week as well, too. So thank you very much for joining. My name is Terry Thompson. I'm the host of Unbreakable Stories. We'll see you next time. Yes. Before we go, thank you, Peter.
On the ball.
You're absolutely amazing. Audible. And I had it right there on the screen too, and I wasn't looking down. I was totally focused on, I don't know, maybe I was looking at like Bonnie's forehead or something, but I don't know. So
can't miss that.
We have this absolutely amazing printout right here. It's the I Am Unbreakable printout. Bonnie made this right here, and it's a truly phenomenal way in which you can show your support to the things that we're doing here at Unbreakable Stories. So if you head on over to the link that's right there on the screen, unbreakablestories.com/share, you can print this out right here, and then you can take a picture of yourself, and you can share it across social media. Tag us, use the hashtag #MyUnbreakableStory. We'll see it, and then we'll reshare that across all our social media. Put a picture of you and your social media on our website. So that's free marketing and advertising. And a shout out to you for showing your support to us here at Unbreakable Stories. I just want to say thank you so much. Peter, thank you so much for that, by the way. And thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We will see you guys in the next episode next Friday. And until then, you can connect with us every single day on Clubhouse.